Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. This is Felita Daniely here. I am a life transformational coach. My mission on this channel is to help you to transform your life spiritually, mentally, and physically. Now, if that resonates with you, I want to kindly ask you to please consider subscribing to this channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified when I upload new content. Okay? All right. So with that being said, let's get into this video. Today, I want to talk to you about the vacuum law of prosperity. Yes, the vacuum law of prosperity. You know, many times we forget that the universe is a very, very orderly place. And when we start to live our lives out of order, things become very imbalanced. We start to get off course, and that in turn start to bring our lives completely out of balance, out of order. It causes a lot of distraught, a lot of stress, things that start to happen in our lives that we have to just remember to turn that light bulb on and to remember we can shift our reality by remembering to get back in order and to remember what those universal laws are. Okay? So again, our universe is very orderly. We just have to understand the laws and how they actually work. Just like we have physical laws of the land. In other words, if you pass or go through a red light, you're going to get a traffic ticket, because the physical laws say that you must stop at a red light. You must use caution at a yellow light. And of course, the green light tells you to go. Another physical law may be a stop sign. If you don't stop at the stop sign, you could be issued a citation. So just as though there are physical laws of our land, we have to understand that to bring our lives back into balance, we must understand the spiritual aspects of living in alignment with universal law. Okay? All right. So let's think about nature. You know, nature gives us perfect examples of how to live in harmony. There are seasons. We have winter, we have spring, we have summer, and we have fall. Nature does not fight against itself. The seasons ease into each season. After fall comes winter. After winter comes spring. After spring comes summer. There is like a universal ebb and flow with nature. And the more we learn that, and the more we learn that there are specific seasons of our own lives, our lives can be in alignment and line up in harmony and balance so that it'll bring us more prosperity and more success. Okay? Now, let's look at the vacuum law of prosperity and see what it says. Okay? The law of vacuum states that all material forces of the universe abhor the vacuum, and it rush to fill each hole, opening, void, blank page, field of clarity, or empty moment with image, garbage, sound, and fury, often signifying nothing so precious as the original voidness. This law states that space allows movement, and that when all space is filled, the solidarity prevents further movement or growth. So by reducing bit by bit the inappropriate and unnecessary aspects of one's lifestyle, one can create the time, space, atmosphere, and opportunities to move, to grow, to replenish, and to rebuild on a more solid foundation. Now, this law creates the space in which to place only the highest and best with the least amount of energy and expense. So, in other words, the more we recognize that we are in specific seasons of our lives, that will put us in the ebb and the flow of life. So, if you are notified that you lost your job, don't look at it as you lost your job. Look at it in a different perspective and realize that your season has ended at that specific location. It's time for you to move on to new opportunities. You have opened up that space. The universe opened up that space for you to be able to move on to a different area of your life. Okay? So let's look at things and what happens when our lives are out of balance. Okay? We have a lot of things in life to learn how to balance. You know, most of us have jobs. We have a home that we have to take care of. We have relationships. We have friendships. You know, we have our spiritual lives. We have our physical health in which we must take care of. And then what happens is that we get overburdened with things sometimes, and it throws our life completely out of balance. So therefore, it ends up leading us to certain and specific areas of our lives that may cause discontentment. It may cause disharmony. It may cause a lot of stress if we don't know how to get ourselves back into alignment and back where we need to be. Okay? Now, let's look at some of those areas and some of those places in our lives in which we sometimes may have challenges. Now, let's talk about our spiritual beliefs. Sometimes, you know, we may grow up in a specific organized religion. And as we get older, our beliefs start to change. So that same church that we might have gone to in the past, it may not serve our highest good anymore. Okay? But yet and still, we are afraid to leave the church because, or that specific organized religion, because that's where all of our family are. So we start to put ourselves in a lot of mental torment, mental anger, not necessarily anger, but we start to cause a lot of what's called mental stress. And it's also called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is where you basically have you have a belief on one mind, but again, you're struggling with moving forward with your new thought and your new belief. Okay, so it may be a challenge for you mentally and you can't seem to get it out of your head. So like, say for instance, with the church or with the organized religions example, you might go to or attend services on a Sunday morning. And when you wake up, your new beliefs may say, I don't necessarily need the church anymore. Or I want to go to a new church, or I want to go and serve or worship at another location. But you end up still going to the church in which you were raised in because you don't want to disappoint family. Okay? That's one area. Let's look at relational. You may be in a relationship or a friendship that is not serving your highest good. Let's say, for instance, you're in a relationship and you're constantly arguing with your partner. You just can't seem to find peace whenever you are in their presence. So you know that it's time for you to end the relationship, but you're challenged because you don't want to go through the season of being alone. Okay? You could have a friendship where you have a friend in your life that every time you talk to this specific friend, it's all about him or her all the time. They never ask you how you're doing. So you become very imbalanced in that friendship because that friend is not allowing a balanced flow of energy. It's all about him or her, but they never even think about asking you how you're doing. How are things going on with you? How are things going for you? They're not even concerned because they're very, very self-centered. Okay? So you need to create some space there. Okay? Now, let's look at the emotional aspect of it as well. Sometimes we find ourselves, if we have a loss of a loved one, we find ourselves grieving for extensive periods of time. Or sometimes we may find ourselves very angry and we can't get to the root problem of our anger and why we find ourselves to be so angry all the time. That is causing a lot of emotional distress in your life. Or let's take a look at our physical environment. We know that we have so many things in our closet that no longer serves us. So we know that we need to go in and we need to either donate and give it away to someone who can actually use it, or put it up and sell it on Marketplace so that you can make some money from it. Sometimes you can walk into your home and certain areas of your home, you're just not feeling the vibe, and you start looking at that old furniture and you're like, I've had this thing for so many years. It's time for me to get rid of it. But you don't make the necessary steps to make room for it and move it out of the way. And let's look at occupational. You may have an extremely stressful job. People are constantly bombarding you all the time. You're getting so much stuff coming at you on the job. And it's time for you to move on to a new job. But yet and still, you keep showing up every single day. And then when you get home, you're constantly complaining all the time. And that complaint will continue to exacerbate the issue and the problem that you have. You want to move on to a new job, but you are afraid to open up and create the necessary space for you to be able to move on to a new job so that you will have peace in your life. Okay? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a moment and do a very quick exercise. Okay? We're going to take a very quick assessment of your current reality. Here is my question for you. I want to ask you this. After I just presented all of that information to you, I want you to ask yourself, number one, what's really, really blocking me right now? What are the areas in my life that's causing discontentment? What do I need to let go of, and what no longer serves my highest good? Pause this video for a few minutes, pull out your paper and your pen, and write these things down so that you can have clarity and know what you need to release and let go of. We're going to invoke the vacuum law of prosperity so that more can come into our space. Okay, so take a moment and stop and pause this video for a moment and take this assessment. Welcome back. I hope that you have had an opportunity to sit for a moment and take the assessment. And now you have clarity about the things that you need to get rid of in your life. It's really important to remove those things and create the space so that new energy can flow into that space to bring more joy, to bring more love, to bring more peace, and to bring more happiness into our space. Okay? Now, before we go, I want to leave you with this affirmation of the day. Okay? Here's the affirmation. I release what no longer serves me in order to make room for what does. Let's repeat that 3 times under the law of 3. I release what no longer serves me in order to make room for what does. One more time. I release what no longer serves me in order to make room for what does. Okay? All right. I hope that this video blessed you and you found value in this. If you like this video, please be sure to give me a like on this video because it really does help my numbers and it helps the algorithm push me out there to more people. If you found value in this video also, please be sure to comment below and also share this with some others who you feel would benefit from viewing this video as well. Okay? All right. Again, if you're not already subscribed, please be sure to click on the subscribe button. And if you're interested in working with me as a coach, hey, my information is listed below in the description. You can schedule a complimentary 15-minute discovery call with me so that we can see if we're a good match for each other. Okay? All right. I want to thank you again for watching. I am sincerely grateful that you took the time to watch this video. So until the next time, you take care, take charge. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.